Good morning. Is there anybody out there? Oh, look, it's Jasmine. You're the first one. I knew you would be on today. I actually was thinking this is the perfect time for Jasmine. And there's Holly. Hi, Holly. So good to see you. Your ex, Jasmine, you have an ex? What? When I was your age, I never had a boyfriend. I didn't have a boyfriend until I was 17 years old. And oh boy, then I became boy crazy for a while. It's so beautiful at the beach. We've got the perfect beach day. Although, I'm glad that the sun is out, but a couple seconds ago, the sun was behind the clouds and it was just perfect conditions. It gets a little bit hot in the sun, and we seem to be over our cold snap. Hello, Ruchka. Welcome you guys to this morning's beach report. We are live in Fort Lauderdale. Let me show you the beach. Thank you, Ruchka. Not that I can take any credit because, God made the beach, but it is so beautiful. And I'm so happy to be here and to be able to welcome you guys to the beach on my show. Even if you're not here physically, I want you to relax, kick back, listen to the sound of the waves and my voice. Let's go over to the ocean. This is the Atlantic Ocean. Smell the sea air. Where are all the birds? And you hear the crash of the waves. Very mild seas today. These are baby waves. Nobody's surfing here. Although they do surf with the windsurfers. They don't need waves, but they do need wind, and there isn't any of that either. So Holly, you want to hear about my raid book? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. It's coming along very nicely. Oh look, it's a jasmine bird. Sorry, I'm still getting over my cold. I'm almost there. I'm like 99%. And I just have this little post-nasal drip situation. I'll be okay. So I do wish I had an umbrella, but I do not. Of my hand. I didn't even wear a hat. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Spread my wings and fly away. Looking for a better day. I don't know the rest of the words, but it's a song that I have heard. I believe I can fly. It's something I'd like to try. How do you like that song I made up? Oh, Ruchka, are you one of Jasmine's people? Get your tootsies in the water. Yes, okay. It's not me being hot though that I'm worried about, Holly. It's the phone, really. But I will put my tootsies in the water. Ah, the water's chilly. Oh my gosh, yikes. Woo! Woo! That's cold. Oh, it's not usually this cold. This is weird. This is like Northern Atlantic Ocean water temperatures. Yeah. Anyway, you can see I'm in the drink. Yeah, not much though. But the beach is beautiful. I don't see any critters, as in no man-o-wars, nothing, no big jellyfish. It's just a beautiful blue ocean. And you're on the beach report. Ruchka is from South Africa and joined us today because I pulled her here. Well, welcome, Ruchka. I'm glad you're here. How old are you? Yeah, it's cold. Gretchen's in the house. 7 inches of snow. Oh my gosh. Welcome, J Rebel. This is Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And it's a gorgeous beach day. She's ancient, 14, 15. Oh my gosh, if you think she's ancient, what do you think I am? At 60. Those are clouds, not mountains, Stuart. 14. All right, well, welcome, Ruchka, 14 years old. Everybody watching, you guys need to be aware we do have teenagers in the house this morning. So be respectful and conduct yourselves as good role models. It's important. I know, who doesn't love the beach? She's freaking out. Oh, Daryl, you're in St. Lucia. I love St. Lucia. You guys want to hear why I love St. Lucia? All right, lay off of those Oreos, Stuart. They're really bad for you, really. I mean, snorting them sounds wrong, but even eating them it's bad. They're bad. Don't eat the Oreos, Jasmine. Step away from the Oreos. They are evil. Evil Oreos. And no good can come of eating the Oreos. Okay, you guys want to hear about St. Lucia, huh? Don't be drunk at all. Nobody should be drunk. That's not healthy. Oh, I love that, Patrick. Jesus said we don't have to die to know heaven. We can have heaven on earth. And I totally agree with that. Okay, you are being put in timeout. Actually makes me think of a song. Walk into the Oreo light. There's no Oreo light. Oreos are evil. Oh, not you, Stuart. I was talking to someone else. All right, let's talk about St. Lucia. And this is also a story. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Yeah, by the way, if you're new to the Beach Report, Jill will start singing for no apparent reason, although I do always have a reason. A song spikes in my mind and I just have to sing it. I'm not a singer. I just love to make a joyful noise unto the Lord. All right, you people who are locked in, well, I'm on the beach. Rushka is shy. She's blushing because it's her first time being in the life with a person TT. Okay, not sure I understand all that, Rushka, but you are welcome here. We will teach you how to be safe on the internet. This is a safe place for you to be. St. Lucia is an independent Eastern Caribbean island nation in the Lesser Antilles. Thank you, Jasmine. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, Gretchen. Yeah, you are here, Vernon. You have to believe it. You have to feel it. And you can see it. Okay, so St. Lucia. Very, very important little island to moi. And this is back in 2006. And I was a newspaper reporter for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I was a freelance writer. And all of a sudden, I had this thought. I'm not sure actually where it came from, but I just had this flash of inspiration. And I thought, I want to be a travel writer. That's got to be the best job ever, right? Literally get paid to travel. And no sooner do I think I want to do this than one of my writing friends says to me, hey, I just got invited to do this travel junket to the Caribbean. All expenses paid, a week, and they're looking for other journalists to go. And I'm like, sister, sign me up. Now, I actually also at this time got a gig with the magazine. They were looking for a travel writer. And I don't know if I got recommended to them or how that happened, some word of mouth thing. And that's how I get most of my jobs, by the way, is a word of mouth thing. And they were looking for a travel writer to write an article every month. So that's all you need to be a travel writer, is you need a monthly column. You need somebody to buy your story so that when you go in these places, they know that you're really going to write an article. So I go to St. Lucia. Now, this is 2006. I was a mom, two little kids, my ex-husband. That's a story for another day. Anyway, I left them behind for a week because, mommy had to work. And I had the time of my life. It was so great. We got to St. Lucia, and the journalists, we all stayed in villas. Like a group of 6 girls would get a villa together, and it was like a big house, and every single bedroom had its own bathroom and its own plunge pool. Okay, that was amazing. So I would literally wake up in the morning and I would go out to my plunge pool and I would see cruise ships going by. These kids are having so much fun. But I would see cruise ships going by. And I felt like I was on a cruise ship, but I wasn't moving, and I thought that was the greatest thing ever because, okay. I see a man digging a hole, and it looks pretty deep, but I think he's also... Don't dig that hole too deep. You know that's dangerous, right?
You're gonna bury it after.
All right, good job. I have to say something every time. I don't care if they get mad. I don't want to see a child ever die because they're in a hole that falls in on them. Ever, ever, ever. I don't ever want to see that. And that has actually happened, not at this beach where I'm standing right now, but I'll show you, but beyond that pier that's messed up, a little girl named Sloane Mattingly lost her life when the hole she was playing in with her brother caved in on both of them and took her life and nearly killed her brother too. He did survive. But I just had to stop my show just to give you that PSA, public service announcement, When you get to the beach with children, do not dig any holes. Make sandcastles instead. Yes, Jasmine, thank you. May she rest in peace, little Sloan. So I never forget her. And I used to talk to parents, and I didn't really have anything to back me up, but now I've got Sloan, so. And actually, up there, but beyond that pier, it's now a law. You cannot dig any holes there in honor of Sloan. And it's stated on the beach as well, so that's a wonderful thing. And unfortunately, 2 teenage boys lost their lives just last month. And I don't remember where it was. I believe they were in a state park, and they dug a deep hole, and it caved in. It killed them both. So, yeah. Yeah, no, it's not my beach. I'm just protecting people. Well, these condos actually have been here since, many of them, since the 1920s. This is a very special part of Fort Lauderdale Beach called the Galt Ocean Mile. For instance, this hotel right here, this is my favorite hotel. It's called Ocean Manor. And it used to be frequented by all the big movie stars. Sinatra, the Brat Pack, or was it the Rat Pack? I don't know. I was not alive then, but very historic place here. Yes, ruined for a long time. You know, Chronic, it really does amaze me that you can build big buildings like this on a beach. And we saw it in Miami several years ago when that condo caved in. It was horrific. Ever since then, anybody who owns a condo on the beach is rethinking that decision very seriously. You lived in Wellington. Love South Florida, right, General? Rat Pack, okay. I think the St. Elmo's Fire people, they were the Brat Pack. Am I right? Yeah, engineering is amazing. So we're on the Galt Ocean Mile in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I know it, Darren. I have always wanted to go to Australia, but it's very far. However, I could go to Australia because I have a very large fan base in Australia. I have the most wonderful Australian and New Zealand fans. And one of them, I always do a shout out to Tracy. I call her Tracy from the future, because where Tracy lives in Australia is exactly 12 hours ahead of time for where I am. In other words, it's almost 10:30 in the morning here, and it is 10:30 in the evening for all you Aussies, including Tracy from the future. I was in Fort Myers a month before the hurricane. Yeah, I was there for the hurricane, and my husband died the day after. And I was supposed to be on Fort Myers Beach during the hurricane, but instead we were in hospice, which was a shelter, which meant that my husband's death saved my life. Think about that one if you can. It still blows my mind how that man saved my life at the end of his. I loved him so much. I love him still. I'm still married to him, so there's that. Yeah, she's from Perth, Darren. That's it. I think she's from Perth. Yeah, Rushka, you gotta subscribe. Don't be a baked potato. Aw, thank you, Jimmy. That's very nice of you to say that. Thank you, Chronic. Well, Fort Myers is doing much better these days. I was in Fort Myers last week. I'll be back in Fort Myers next week. And it is wonderful to see the restoration going on. Fort Myers is a different place now than it was before the hurricane. But in some ways, I like to think that what happened there won't happen again because the buildings will now be stronger to survive such a devastating hurricane. You know, that was the difference between seeing the buildings in Fort Myers on the beach that survived that hurricane. They looked fine. And then next to them, you would see a house was gone. It was just completely gone. So I really think the difference was that the building codes had changed in the 80s. We have a troll who needs to be chucked into the Atlantic Ocean. There are sharks in there. They eat the trolls. I do want to say a little something about trolls. I notice a lot of creators, and again, I don't like the word creator because that's what God is, but let's say influencers, if you will. I called myself a YouTuber in front of my daughter once, and she nearly had a heart attack. She said, "Mom, you are not a YouTuber, you're a journalist." It's true, I am a journalist, but I'm on YouTube. I don't know. I think some people, they get diminished being on YouTube. People think they can come on your show and just abuse you and say all sorts of crap to you. It's really kind of crazy what they think they can get away with. But see, you don't really get away with that on the Beach Report because I eat trolls for breakfast. Yeah, and I teach people how to love and respect each other. Some people apparently just don't know. And Jasmine is a teenager, and she knows that we are all God's children. And we need to treat each other with respect. Even when you're not looking at that person face to face. You are looking at my face, and I'm putting myself out there, and I have sorry, it's very bright. I have the courage to do that. And I can handle the trolls because I just chuck them in the ocean. But lately, the new trend is for people to clap back at their trolls and actually make whole reels about them. Like somebody says a comment, what do I hear all the time? Old and ugly. They call me old and ugly. And I would put it right here, old. Someone says you're old and ugly, and I'd be like, yeah, look at that. You know, like to me, it's just giving attention to people who want attention. I don't really care what I look like to you. Of course, we do all care what we look like, so that's, disingenuous of me to say that. But honestly, I really don't care. I am old. No one's ever said I was ugly with a straight face. Although it was the indication of an ex-boyfriend who was a narcissist and tried to tear me down in every way that he could. And the last thing he said to me before I was like, you are totally off your rocker, was, you are an ugly person, not just on the outside, but inside as well. And I was like, whoa, never heard that one before. So that's when I stopped listening to anything he said. People will lie to you. They will say anything that they can think of to make you feel badly about yourself. So, yes, we all care about each other here on the Beach Report. And thank you for the hugs, Jazz. I feel it. Actually, the Beach Report for me is a family. I was adopted as a baby, and I just take everyone into my family. Because think about it this way. When you leave this earth, when your body no longer serves you, if you know what I mean, you can't take anything with you. You can't take your jewelry. You cannot take your clothes. You can't take your car. You definitely can't take your house. And you're not going to need that stuff in heaven. But there is something you do take. Your relationships. All the people you're dealing with here on earth, I believe that you see them again in heaven. all the people who were here on earth, my husband, both of my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my aunts and uncles, Lord, my baby sister who was born not alive, I'll see them all in heaven. And I really do look forward to that. I'm not afraid to die. Hey, beautiful day in Texas too. Is that what I see? Is that Ginger? It's hard for me to see. It's super bright out here. Oh my gosh, I thought, oh yeah, this is gonna be a cloudy day. I was wrong. I was wrong, but here we are on the beach report. You guys love the beach, so I'm not sad that I'm here. I'm just concerned that my phone is going to overheat. And if that happens, I'll be done for a little while, so I'm like doing all sorts of crazy things. Dear God, thank you for this day, for your love and for your guidance. Amen. That's beautiful. Thank you, Jasmine. Jasmine makes us all better people on the Beach Report family. Hey, let's look at these birds. Those are some fat, happy seagulls. You are all so welcome. I love when you see people's true intentions. Nothing makes you more happy. So true. Well, especially if the intentions are good. Jasmine's pooping. Boop pop. Why don't you do a cannonball into the sea and send us the video? How about that? I've never done a cannonball into the sea, and I don't ever intend to. So you're not going to see that on the Beach Report, but you are going to see some big, fat, happy seagulls. Look at these guys. They are just chillaxing. 2 strokes in the house. What you doing with those zucchinis? Yum. Oh, well then you can't do it either. So nobody's doing any cannonballs into the sea. Hello, India. Yeah, 2-stroke, where you been? Yeah, seagulls will steal your food. You never take food to the beach, actually. I know everybody wants to eat at the beach, but don't do it. It's a bad idea. These guys, they'll get you. They'll get your food. They're just waiting. Look at them. Right now they're waiting too. They're probably waiting for something to happen. I don't know. Yeah, they want to know if I have some prize on me for sure. Look, this one's listening. He's totally listening to every word I say. He's like, this chick, she's got us all wrong. You broke your phone. Ah. They'd be like, put the prize in the bag. Yeah, that's cold water, isn't it? Yeah, these gulls are not used to this water being so chilly. I know I'm not used to it, but it is refreshing. It doesn't feel bad. You know what, Jasmine? That's a good point that you're going to bring up right there that I love to say to everybody. Look at these birds. And Jesus told us to. They don't pay for their food. He provides everything for them. And he provides everything for you too. Hey, Dev. They'd be like, give me a sandwich. You guys are funny. But seriously, we should all be more like the birds. Like the people need so many excesses. Big buildings, plastic chairs to sit on. I think plastic is the scourge of our world. And these guys, they don't need any of it. Hey, Captain, this is Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The waves are getting better in the sunshine. That sun is so bright. I'm blinded out here. I just want to let you know. It's hard for me to see your comments. Beautiful Fort Lauderdale's Galt Ocean Mile. The weather is perfect, Mark. Absolutely beautiful. It is probably in the upper 70s right now. Probably gonna hit the 80s today. Cold snap is over, but the water temperature is another story. This water is chilly. And that's not normal for South Florida. The Beatitudes, Matthew 5:3-10. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's a hard one for me to understand, poor in spirit. I don't want to be poor in spirit, but I do want the kingdom of heaven. I don't know. I don't understand that one too well. You know, when I'm doing my show and someone says, "Can I see you? Let me see what you look like," I say no. That's creepy. Don't do that to me. If you watch the Beach Report, you'll get plenty of opportunities to see what I look like. This is not a dating show, and I'm not looking for a man. And sometimes I feel weird when people talk to me like that. Would you say that if I were a man? Do men get the same treatment? Yes, sunshine is the greatest disinfectant. And so is vitamin SEA. We are here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Mark says, I'm glad you're having good weather. Last Friday it was 23 below zero. What? Okay, could you live in 23 below zero? Like, you can't even go outside. That's insane. Now it's 20 degrees. You probably think it's a heat wave, right? We've got the best mods here. If you say stupid things on the Beach Report, you will be kicked off. And there are alligators, and here there are sharks. Our alligators are a little bit on the other coast more than they are here. Here I feed the trolls to the sharks. Holly just did us that great favor. Thank you, Holly. Love you. Do unto others as you would have them do to you. Do unto you. Love one another as I have loved you. These are the golden rules. Thank you, Dr. Mark. You're so right about that. People really need to follow those rules. I don't understand why anybody, comes on this show and decides to say things that just are not relevant. We're a family here. We take care of each other. We're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Richka, stop fighting the phone. Let the waves take you out to sea. Meditate to it. The Beach Report. I'm here for you. Hi, Shay. Mark says, I respect your privacy and the things you like. However, a gentleman should always compliment a lady, and a lady should always accept a gentleman's true kindness. I agree. I always say thank you when people are kind to me. I agree with that. You're allowed to be kind. You're allowed to compliment. Just don't objectify, be misogynistic, or treat me like an object. And we'll get along very well. I just want to be treated like a person. I know, Circus, I love the beach as much as you do. I'm glad you're here, Stephen. I hope you guys feel like you are on the beach. That's what the beach report is about. I want you to feel like you're here and like you're talking to your best friends. I always want to see the critters in the ocean, and I rarely ever do. But you know they're all in there. You know, dolphins jump out from time to time, and I don't get to see it. I wish they would do that for me today. Who's in South Carolina? No, this is Florida. This is Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A bear walks into a bar and says, I'll have a whiskey and cola. The bartender asks, why the big pause? The bear shrugs and says, I don't know. I was born with them. Ha ha ha, good one. That was a good one, Jasmine. I can never remember jokes. But I was thinking I should try because jokes are great. Mark says, I make my home in the Adirondack Mountain region of New York State, but I have a lovely home on Sanibel Island, so I know how beautiful flower that is. Thanks to God, I have the best of both worlds. You are lucky. Sanibel Island is absolutely gorgeous, but I understand there are a lot of mosquitoes there. They had a hard time during Hurricane Ian in Sanibel Island. You should be scared of the sea, Circus. The sea is powerful and dangerous and deadly. You have to have great respect for it. I wouldn't say be scared of it, but have great respect. And understand that, you know, what you look at, it's so beautiful, but it's a whole other world. This is the Atlantic Ocean in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Yeah, Mark is not only blessed, though. Mark made his own luck. Am I right, Mark? I'm pretty sure you weren't given your house in Florida or in the Adirondacks. Nobody just said, hey, Mark, want to live in a nice house in the Adirondacks? And you're like, yeah, sure, okay. I mean, you had the doctor thing before your name, so I'm guessing you worked pretty hard to get to where you are. Rushka has a lot of mosquitoes where she is. Yeah, mosquitoes, they're awful, aren't they? You'd hate them. Jasmine's over here doing the onomatopoeia. Did you know that's what you're doing, Jasmine? Onomatopoeia. That is one of my favorite words. And it is used when you take a word that makes a sound like splash, boom, bang. That's an onomatopoeia. Oh, you're starting to learn about it today, is that right? That's funny. Well, you heard it here on the Beach Report. I know there are quite a few people watching the Beach Report who don't speak English as their first language, and sometimes people do ask me for advice or English lessons, kind of, and I'll do an English lesson on the Beach Report because I am actually a certified English teacher. I used to teach at Berlitz School of Language in Switzerland back when I lived there. Like in comics when they go splash or bang, exactly. That's an onomatopoeia. Dr. Mark, Shayna. Mark, show yourself. Jasmine speaks Afrikaans and German. And that's interesting too, Jasmine. And why would you speak Afrikaans and German? Because in South Africa, there are a lot of Germans, right? Like, German is a main language down there, isn't it? Not a lot of people know that. You're gonna learn a lot of stuff on the Beach Report. How much do you guys love looking at the ocean? I can't get enough of it. I'm mesmerized. Rich guy speaks Afrikaans, to be honest, and I've never seen a German in my land. Oh, really? Well, I think it's like Cape Town in South Africa where Germans are. But I know they're there because I know Germans who came from South Africa. And one of my closest friends when I lived in Switzerland, she was born in Nigeria, but she was Swiss. She was cool. I loved her. Yeah, Cape Town. Oh, your uncle's in Cape Town. Cool. Got a lot of interesting people here on the beach report today. I know, right, two-stroke? I can't get enough of it. Just endless wave upon wave upon wave. Okay, so I wanted to talk about fraud today. I don't have very many people watching. And I realized that, you know, it is an international beach report and not as, but then again, fraud is an international issue. So there have been a lot of hearings lately about the Minnesota fraud problem. Hi, user. And it's very interesting to me how whenever there's a hearing about Minnesota fraud, there are two ways of talking about it. There are the Republicans who speak about the fraud quite plainly and what's going on. And then the Democrats start to testify or to talk. They don't really testify. And they talk about everything but the Minnesota fraud. They begin to point fingers at President Trump and claim he is the fraudster. When no, the actual fraudsters are people in Minnesota. And I think if anybody does not hold accountable the Minnesota fraudsters, well, we're talking about Minnesota fraud. If you start talking about anything else, I'm thinking you should be arrested immediately because you're in on it. That's just my opinion. I mean, why would you do that, you know? It's just so obvious. Jasmine says, so I'm going to tell you how I got sacked from my job at the bank. It's because the lady said to check her balance, and I pushed her over, so why is my boss sacking me? Jasmine, that's not true. Mark says, you are very correct, Jill. I put many years of work behind my achievements. However, I must thank my family for pointing me in the correct direction and emphasizing education. Yeah, well, that is true too. That's a joke. Jasmine's a jokester, two-stroke. You gotta watch out for her. She is crafty with the jokes. And she's only 14, so I'm pretty sure she never had a job at the bank. They don't let 14-year-olds be bank tellers. I think you gotta be older than that. Yeah, I bite. Jazz. We love having Jasmine on the show. She's like our I don't want to say mascot because she's not an animal, but she's a teenager. She's our teenage mascot. Everyone needs a teenage mascot. Jasmine says, I want a job so bad, but someone called my dad won't let me. Oh, you know what, Jasmine? You have your whole life to have a job, girl. Dad is right. Your job right now is to be a kid and grow up. Not that you can't have a mission. You know, you can always have a mission. And especially if it's a mission from God. Ask God for a mission. And there you go. That's your job. And it could be anything, you know, you can volunteer anywhere. There's a lot of things you can do as a teenager. A lot of things you should do as a teenager, including being Batman. Danny says, don't rush it. Yeah, enjoy your life. But do good works and learn. Your job is to learn right now. All right, you guys want me to tell you more about my trip to St. Lucia? Because that was an action-packed situation. Holy guacamole. Beside it being absolutely beautiful and staying in this gorgeous villa, I was surrounded by all of these other writers, which is so much fun to be with other journalists. And there were two different groups there. One group was from England and the other group was from America. So that was really cool too. And the English journalists, oh my God, they were crazy. They were so fun. Now one day, every day, we would get to do cool things around St. Lucia, like ride on the pirate boat that was in Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, I got to ride on that boat. That was super cool. Another things we got to do, oh my gosh, we had cooking classes. Just so many cool things. So I learned about fusion cooking, where you take two different types of food, like Asian and Mexican, and you make Asian Mexican fusion. It was interesting. I learned a lot. Well, one day, everybody that wanted to could go on a horseback riding excursion where the horses would take you on the beach. And of course, I wanted to do that so bad. And I've loved horses my whole life and have taken horsemanship classes, so I wouldn't say that I'm a horseman, but I know everything about it. My little sister is a professional horsewoman and she works in the horse industry. So I know a fair bit and I know how to treat horses, and you know, riding horseback isn't something that terrifies me. So, turducken. Is that what they call it, turducken? I think that is what yeah, that's fusion. Good one. Anyway, so we meet the horses that we're gonna ride on. And the British people, none of them had ever, I don't know if they'd ever even seen a horse in person, but they were so scared and flipping out and treating the horses like they were motorcycles. In other words, like they weren't actual critters with feelings. You know, just, how do I get on this horse? And I got to do my British accent for Jasmine too. I keep forgetting that. Anyway, yeah, how do I get on this thing? And it's just crazy. So I see this situation and I'm getting kind of concerned. So I'll walk up to my horse and I say, hello, I'm Jill. I'm going to ride you today. And I'd like to be your friend and I want to get along with you. And the horse says, okay, you know, and we have a nice conversation. And I say, look around at all these people. They don't know how to ride horses. So I'm going to ask that you just kind of like keep me protected, hang with me. Don't let anything crazy happen. And my horse says, okay. So we're on this trail and everything's fine until we get to the ocean. And when the horses see the ocean, they get really excited because they love the ocean. They love the beach. And for some unknown reason, one of the horses breaks free from the group and just starts charging into the ocean. Like running full speed onto the beach and through the water. And the woman who's on his back doesn't know how to ride a horse, and she falls off of the horse, but she is dragged because her foot is still in the stirrup. And so she's being dragged through the ocean by her horse, which is lucky for her because I think anything else and she would have been killed. So somehow, I don't know how they got her under control, but all of the horses are now freaking out and just running willy-nilly and all around the beach, except for my horse, which I warn, we gotta be cool here. Just hang back, don't do anything. So my horse is fine, and I just watched this whole craziness. I mean, people running around like chickens with their horses cut off. No, I mean, you know what I mean. And it was a nightmare. Nobody got hurt, but the British people after that, they were pretty freaked out. And my horse behaved the whole time, so I was very lucky. And then all the local boys tried to sell us conch shells. Don't fall for that in St. Lucia. They'll charge you like 50 bucks for a conch shell. That's crazy. You can find them on the beach. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Terry's in the house. All right, you guys, how long have we been on the beach? It's almost time for my sun bath. People are always commenting on my amazing tan. And it is like Dr. Mark. I don't get it by just laying around. No, I do actually. I do. I take a sun bath every day that I can, because you can't always have the perfect weather for a sun bath. But I treat the sun like, I think God is in the sun. I think God is the sun and the Holy Spirit. I love the sun, and I have to have my sun time every day. I gotta lay there and I soak it in, but just for like a half an hour. Okay, sometimes an hour, but no more than an hour a day. And it's a very important part of my day. I meditate, I relax, I pray. All the things happen during, sometimes I even just take a nap. But it's a really healthy part of my life, and that's where I get, yeah, adorable couples. That's where I get my suntan from. So it's vitamin D. That's what it's all about. I know, don't be jealous, Lisa. That's kind of the point of my St. Lucia story, is that if you want to do something, you have to put your mind to it and you have to do it. A lot of people watch the beach report and say, you're so lucky you live at the beach. I'm not lucky. I made this happen. Just like Dr. Mark. Yes, you have a lot of people helping you along the way. Lord knows I couldn't do this without all of the friends that I have who let me go from house to house to house. It's the way I live now. And it's working for me. You're running to Hawaii soon. I've never been to Hawaii. That's a beautiful place. Again, very far away, like Australia. So, I don't know. I don't really need it, because look at what I have. Why would I leave here? It feels dangerous to go away from your home beach, to go to another beach. Because here's the thing, beaches look the same all over the world in a lot of ways. And how many times am I doing this show and people are like, is that Hawaii? Is that North Carolina? Is that the Bahamas? It's just Florida. Florida is a beautiful state. And I do feel fortunate to live here. But I made it happen. I moved to Florida and I did it by myself. Nobody brought me here. Yeah, I understand Hawaii is a very, very cool place to go to. I would like to visit. Yeah, you got to get it done. I love their flowers. And I love Florida flowers are beautiful too. Everything is beautiful in its own way. Oh. Nobody's asked me to sing the Mr. Rogers song, and I was fully prepared to do it today. So let's sing it together. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a beauteous day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in the neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you be? Won't you be? Please won't you be my neighbor? Quincy, yes, I'm interested in a reasonable explanation of the core of spirit beatitude. C.S. Lewis has a good explanation of it in his book, Mere Christianity. Thank you. I'm gonna look that up because that is very interesting to me. All right, you guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this beautiful neighborhood that we're in, this ocean neighborhood. And I'm gonna say ciao for now and take my sun bath. So I'll see you guys on the next beach report, where we're here in Fort Lauderdale this week. Let's enjoy the ocean. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. Ciao for now.